Shrink wrapped, custody stripped. Therapy does not equal strategy. I figured if anything could help me, it was therapy. That if I just unpacked all my shit, traced every scar back to some childhood slight, or learned the right phrases for my feelings, I'd get better. Not just feel better, but win, heal, thrive, all that good stuff. And for a while there, I did. There was a year, maybe more, when the weekly check ins gave me a sense of movement, like I wasn't stuck, like someone else had seen the same wreckage. My therapist was sharp, asked good questions, challenged me in ways no one else really had. But underneath all the reflection and attachment theory breakdowns, I started noticing something. I was learning how to feel, but not how to lead. No one ever said, here's what you do when she files an affidavit calling you emotionally unsafe, or this is how to talk to your kid when she's rewriting the story behind closed doors. There was no module for getting slammed with parenting coordinator fees because you wouldn't roll over. No script for facing a judge who sees your calm as detachment and her outbursts as maternal instinct. Therapy stabilizes, strategy neutralizes. To be fair, therapy did help me become less reactive. I stopped over explaining, started noticing when I was carrying guilt that didn't belong to me, when the old covert contracts were bubbling up, and when I was being the good guy just to keep the peace. That part, worth every cent. Roosh once said, you don't build frame with theory, you build it with action. And I'd add, you don't even get to action until you stop self-sabotaging through unspoken expectations. Therapy helped me kill my covert contracts, gave me a language to name what I was angling for approval, performing masculinity instead of embodying it. Whisper used to say, you're not leading if you're waiting for her permission. And I didn't fully grasp that until I sat in enough sessions to realize how much of my love was just submission with a smile and a bow. But it still left a gap. Here's the thing most therapists won't tell you. They're not trained to help men win. They're trained to regulate, to de-escalate, and to nudge you into consensus. And when you're a divorced dad and a custody meat grinder, consensus is a rigged word. Consensus means giving ground. It means be the bigger person. It means softening boundaries so the other person doesn't feel upset. That's not frame. That's surrender in therapeutic language. The red pill got this part right. Emotions are signals, not strategies. And yet, half the guys who find the RP try to fix themselves with a therapist the minute things get hard. They still think being healed will make them more attractive, more respected, more safe. Though it won't. No one's handing out points for emotional growth. As Ryan Stone said, they don't hate you because you're weak. They hate you because you gave them power and now want it back. The guys who lose in court aren't the ones with the worst character. They're the ones without structure. They come in hoping their story will carry weight. That being the better man, the more understanding co-parent, the emotional literate ex-husband will count for something. But the system doesn't reward your character. It rewards clean documentation, timestamp logs, and pattern recognition, and tight frame. You win when your structure makes the narrative undeniable. What most fathers don't realize is that the system reads masculinity through a broken lens. Your calm gets misread as emotional detachment. Her volatility gets interpreted as maternal instinct. Composure doesn't win points, but performed pain does. That's why your strategy needs to go beyond stoicism. You need records that speak when you don't or shouldn't. You need structure that shows emotional investment without theatrics. You're not there to cry on command. You're there to prove your presence with precision. Shrink wrapped and repackaged. I remember sitting in one session talking about how my ex started sending emails with escalating language, accusing me of being rigid because I wouldn't agree to yet another schedule change. My therapist nodded and asked, "How does that make you feel?" How the fuck does that make me feel? Like I'm being set up for supervised visitation. What I needed wasn't a soft landing for my feelings. I needed a countermeasure, a documentation strategy. I needed legal positioning, not internal processing. It's not that the question was wrong, it just wasn't complete. And that's the trap. You think because you're more self aware, you'd somehow come across as more credible. But credibility in court doesn't come from self knowledge, it comes from paper trails, from quiet leverage, clean language, and preemptive strikes. You're not there to be understood, you're there to win. Therapy as triage. So, am I saying therapy is useless? No, but you better know what it is. Therapy is a warm shower, useful after you've rolled in shit. It can clean your wounds, maybe even keep you from bleeding out, but it doesn't show up later. It fades when you need it most. If you're still expecting therapy to give you strategic direction, you're outsourcing your leadership to someone trained to keep you regulated, not in control. And that's not a dig, it's just a limitation of the tool. Like trying to fix a custody battle with yoga. Most fathers get blindsided by how fast respect turns into resistance. The second you assert structure, you're controlling. The minute you say no, you're uncooperative. The judge won't say it, but you'll see it in the ruling. And you'll wonder what you did wrong. Maybe if I was just more understanding. Maybe if I just went back to therapy. That's the wrong loop. You weren't supposed to win, you were supposed to stay compliant. And when you didn't, she used the system on you. And you don't need more empathy. You need systems. You need prep, you need strategy, not self-flagellation. As Whisper put it, she wanted the benefits of your strength without the burden of your authority. Therapy doesn't help you hold authority, it helps you cope with losing it. The real silver bullet. What worked for me wasn't a book, a pill, or some guided mushroom trip. It was a system. A binder full of logs, a calendar with custody time, color-coded and time-stamped, scripts for the conflict points I knew were coming, templates for court prep so I wasn't guessing under pressure. Therapy helped me feel, but still systems helped me lead. And that's the part most men miss. The pain doesn't come from being too vulnerable, it comes from being unarmed. From walking into family court with self-awareness and hoping that that's enough to protect your credibility. Well, it isn't. Your story doesn't win the day, your structure does. And that's what tactical fatherhood became, a system for divorced dads who needed more than just mindset. The RP gets the diagnosis right, solipsism, threat point, covert contracts, all of it, but it misses the cure. You don't win custody with frame alone. You win with structure, with logs, scripts, prompts, court-safe messages, legal prep, bureaucratic dominance. That's the difference between a man with emotional clarity and a man the system can't ignore. The RP tells you how she thinks. Well, I built something for when she weaponizes it. But shrink-wrapped masculinity just feels so nice. You look well adjusted, you say the right things, you're emotionally safe. Until she uses that softness to bend the custody agreement. Until a parenting coordinator twists your comment to complicity. Until your kid starts asking why he can't be at your house more, and you realize there's no session long enough to fix that. Therapy might have helped me stop bleeding, but strategy is what made me a threat. The system doesn't fear your feelings, it fears your preparation.